think we're live on the YouTube, aren't
I
we?
think we are.
Well, then introduce us, you son of a bitch.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to The Push, presented by BodySlam.net. I am Dom Mallon, riding the coattails of the Hefe of BodySlam.net. Mr. Cassidy Haynes, hello, hello.
Hey, buddy.
What's going
What are you
on,
doing?
brother? I don't know. I felt weird. I feel like we didn't jump into the usual
Oh, wait, let's back it up and do it.
podcast, podcast with Cass and Dom. The
The
Push.
push. Is that better? You feel better about it now?
Yeah, it's like holding in a sneeze when we don't do it at this point.
Yeah, it's like don't hold in a fart. You never know what will happen. It's bad luck.
It's an embarrassing tick that we have, but I think it's also necessary.
Yeah, I think it sets the mood. It puts everybody in the right mindset. I think it lets everybody know right out the gate what they're about to get into. So I think it's fun for everybody.
Right.
So have you been?
Welcome
You had
once
a,
again.
yeah, you had a busy week too. I think, right?
I've been keeping busy, to be honest. I had a nice little fun little weird trip to Kansas City with the girlfriend.
Okay.
We went out there for
Before you talk about the wrestling, tell me about the rest of Kansas City. And then, let's do that. Before we do that, I fucked up our format. Dom, let's introduce everybody to ourselves because we got a lot of new listeners and a lot of new people that have paid attention to us this last week, I think,
Well,
or at least to the site
first,
and us. So yeah, let's do it. Push us.
I think the first thing that I need to do is share this link with you so that you can share it. Because
I'm already on it. I'm way ahead of you, buddy. You just tell everybody who we are.
God bless you, buddy. Well, again, I am Dom Mallon. I'm pretty easy to find on Twitter and Instagram. It's just at Dom Mallon _Dom Mallon on Twitter. But
you screw up that more than it's Dom _Mallon, not Dom Mallon _ or whatever you just said. It's Dom _Mallon. That's how you find you.
I don't know how to
send people
find me.
astray, buddy.
I don't know how to find me. I'm not fun to find. Look, everybody is here for you, brah. It's all about you. And you're even easier to find because you're just one big old casshole with 3 O's on
very easy
on the Instagrams, on the Twitters, on whatever else.
Dude,
what else do you on now? You have
I'm
a Twitch now, right?
We have it, but I don't know how to use it. We barely know how to use this, so I think I know how to use the Twitch gimmick.
Well, thank you for admitting that because I love taking all the heat for not having all of this up to speed yet.
I don't know how to computer either, bro. Like I blame it all on you. Like that's the reason that we are as amateur hours we are. But like you don't see me fucking quarterbacking this bitch into like 5-star production level either. So take that as you will. I can't do this shit, so don't worry about it.
Well, while we're plugging stuff,
anybody wants to come help us look good. Hey, yeah, plug away. What else are we plugging?
Well, pulling back the curtain a little bit, I think I announced this before, but the new studio is basically across the street from. It's literally across the street.
You're in Toph studio, right?
Easy. This is still. He sent me that picture because Toph studio is right across the street from.
Did you tell Toph that you didn't even realize it until I told
didn't
you?
Realize it. Yeah, it took a while for me to actually understand that that's where he's at, but. Now we see each other all the time, and now he's always invading my studio. He sent me that picture, and I pulled a Jordan on him. I said, "You can sit in the seat, but you'll never fill it." Get it?
Nice.
You don't get it. Did that go over your? No, that went over your head, didn't it? Apparently, Jordan said that to Kobe.
As soon as you said Jordan.
Well, apparently Jordan said that to Kobe once, and Kobe like flipped out about it.
Oh yeah, because Kobe's better than Jordan.
Anyway. We got really off the track.
That silenced everything right there.
Yeah.
yeah. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long.
Anyway, I was trying to plug Toph's podcast, which he's literally in the process of recording right now with his boy Mike Butler, the Jabronis. That should be getting posted soon as well on bodyslam.net, which is where you can find all of the news, all of the interviews, all of the breaking content, especially all of you new viewers, new follow-alongs on Cassidy's. I don't know what you would call it at this point, but you've over the last week or so, you've kind of become really big time for a lot of people that didn't previously know about the scoops that you've been breaking, or at least knowing about. So,
yeah,
what do you have to say to that?
I'm like kind of new famous. I don't know what to do about this. It's very new for me, man. It's a pretty wild experience being being talked about by Tony Khan on Busted Open Radio Wednesday morning was not something I was expecting to have happen like by name. I'll tell you that much right now. But hey, here we are.
Kudos to
Here
Tony.
we are. How'd it turn out for me? That's all I want to know. It looked like I was right pretty much with what I was saying. So
yeah, and
he can deny being on that plane. I mean, I can't say one way or the other, but the point of my thing was that they were going up there for the United Center deal. Pretty much was what I was getting at with that article, and I think we saw how that announcement turned out. So
yeah, I mean, at the same time, it's not really important. You know,
yeah, it's not important. The detail, that's not the important detail of important. The important detail was I was trying to get to the United Center part of it, and that's where we ended up going. So the flight was kind of whatever, but.
And that's what I mean, because the important thing is AEW's going to the United Center. Hopefully, all things considered, with new COVID restrictions that might be in place between now and then, that might be out of their hands. But all things considered, they're going to be back in Chicago. And from everything that we've heard, based on what's been getting dropped, not just by you, but by Sean Ross Sapp and so many different people about what AEW is got cooking up over the next few months, that might be the perfect spot for, and they've actually already alluded to it at the Dynamite that you were at, that might be where CM Punk makes his return to the wrestling ring.
If you were reading my reports from 2 weeks ago, I said it's 100% that AEW is going to have CM Punk in Chicago. It's not a matter of if he shows up in Chicago, it's when in Chicago. And it looks like they're teasing it for the United Center show, which just makes sense. They sold 10,000, 13,000 tickets already yesterday, I think, on the pre-sale or something crazy like that.
I think at this point it's become too big to not produce it, to hold it back and save it for after that would kind of be.
The only way that I think people would be okay with it is if it's the bait and switch that, like, oh, you're expecting CM Punk, but you get Daniel Bryan claiming to be the best in the world instead. And then you get CM Punk showing up later to be like, no, I'm the best in the world. I mean, that's going to be the only way I think people wouldn't flip out and be angry that they didn't get CM Punk at the United Center, and they got. I mean,
I just want you to hedge your bets.
You got Daniel Bryan instead.
I just want you to hedge your bets.
I'm saying he's going to show up. He's showing up in Chicago. I haven't heard anything different. I mean, that was the plan. So
I'm looking over at the comments now. I want to say hi to Carl Farrell, who's watching. Hey guys.
Hey man.
Philip Hirons says hi guys, and
nice.
Obox Talks Wrestling says what's up, Cass, and he's got his tickets for the first dance, so you better be there.
Oh, nice.
Let's talk about first dance real quick.
I'm trying. I'm going to try to be there. See, the problem was I was hoping it was going to be the next weekend, like the last weekend of August, instead of on the 20th, because then it would just be like 10 days in a row. I could just stay in Chicago, but. Man, if I do that, I'm going to have to go up on the 20th, come back home for like, 9 days or something like that, and then fly right back up. But, fly up the first time. Then I'm going to drive up for the week so I can have my car up there so I don't get stuck paying like $1,000 in Ubers in Chicago or whatever, taking the train all the time. So I don't know. That's 2 trips really quick within a short time span, but I'm definitely going to try my best to get to the first dance. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to do.
I see somebody asking about the AEW India TV deal. The only thing I saw was that they were working on a bunch of international deals. I don't remember who put that report out, but I don't know any specifics on where, but they're definitely working on a bunch of international deals to air Rampage and the rest of their programming. If it's not aired anywhere else, they're working on it. They're trying to expand those markets for sure.
Did anybody who's listening see Cass live at Dynamite last week? Because he was sitting front row. The man, I don't know. Was that a dark match that Mox came out for and basically like
Mox was on the dark match.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you see Mox come out for dark, you're gonna see him and me do a little like pow, like fist bump, awkward arm exchange. Is like we both he went for the arm like cross thing, and I went for the fist bump. So it was like all right, whatever. And then he was like out of the way. But yeah, it was like the first person he goes to. I was like the only person within probably like 25 feet. It looked like too. There was nobody around me, so it's just like me and Mox to start his trip through the crowd, because he comes out of the Courseway or the concourse or whatever that thing is called, like the little corner of the arena, and he goes like he's going to go up into the stands or whatever, but there was no little steps to get actually into the crowd. He just kind of was like stuck, just walking around, and was like, gosh, shit. And he came back through where I was, and I was the first person, only person there. So it was just like,
Right.
and out. So that'll be fun to see. But I spotted myself a couple of times. I think Toph sent me a picture during Jungle Boy's entrance, and then I don't know what I sent you one of me and when I was just standing there looking.
You sent me
confused.
the one. Yeah, well, that's what you sent me. The one that somebody sent of you that they also sent to you was like not a video that you took, but how that was a great show to just be at in general. Also, what's up to Matt Hendricks said he's watching us and Io Shirai. Io Shirai is awesome. But yeah, that show was awesome. Sorry, I'm going off topic. I'm not used to this.
No, you're good.
Live thing,
yeah, dude, we're trying to. This is how we grow our audience, man. I've been trying to get us like this for a while now. We got interaction with our viewers. That's all that matters. That's what makes this a little bit more fun. But
I got stuff to talk about. But all I want to do is answer comments. Like Oxbow is talking about, he's making a 10-hour drive to Chicago, and I kind of always wanted to do that. Bro. Yeah, I want to do that too, because it's about give or take 10 hours from Philly to Chicago too. So I would love
really?
to.
It's like,
I think so.
Dude, it's 11 for me. It's 11 for me. 11, almost 12, depending upon the time change. And if I get stuck in traffic in Indiana, like I always do.
It's you and I live in such a matrix, because I feel like no matter where we are, it's like we can get to the same distance in the same amount of time. But for us to try to get to each other is like 3 times as long somehow. It doesn't equate. Yeah,
it's the same.
Geography doesn't work that way.
It took me almost 9 hours, or a little over 9 hours, I think, to drive to you the last time I went up for House of Hardcore, because I flew when I went up 2 years or last year.
Okay.
But when I drove up when we went to House of Hardcore, I think it was a little over. I think it was like 9, but I left from Greensboro and it was straight up, but it took me 2 hours to get to Greensboro. So like it's probably about the same, because I went like this instead. Either way, it's probably about 11 hours, like you said.
Right.
So
now August 20th is
anyway.
August 20th is when that's going down. But I, on August 20th, am going to be representing my hometown hero, the Mecca, Brian Johnson, at Ring of Honor's return to the 2300, formerly the ECW arena. I'm going to be there. I know a bunch of my friends are going to be there, and we are going to be probably just one of a small faction of a greater group of people that are going to be there, just welcoming the Mecca home in open arms. Nice. I can't wait for that night one. He's facing EC3, which is going to be a huge match. And nice. Ring of Honor, I say this all the time, is way too slept on. Anybody who can watch it, like even without a TV deal, they still have the Fight TV, so you can watch it on Fight TV app and still catch up to their weekly content and get all their pay-per-views. So it's easy. But dude, Ring of Honor is good stuff, and they have a lot of people in their roster that are hidden gems, not just the Mecca, but all over the place.
Yeah, I agree.
In fact, breaking news by Cassidy Haynes. That might be a good time to segue. Don't you have a little Ring of Honor related news?
Yeah. So at Dynamite this week, there was a couple names backstage. Of course, not of course, but it's to be expected. Zelina Vega's backstage because she was there with Tommy or Malachi Black. But also Ring of Honor guy, New Japan Strong guy was backstage at Dynamite. Brody King. So he was backstage hanging out with his some friends. So he got a good show to go to in Charlotte. And he's I love Brody King, man. Love Brody King.
I'm sorry, I wasn't even listening to you because I'm just looking at all these comments. What's up to Michael Hall in the UK?
I like the guy putting over that picture I took of Nick Gage because, dude, I'm standing. That's the thing. When I was standing there looking at it, I'm just like looking at Nick Gage. I'm like, oh my God, this is the most incredible visual ever. And I just grabbed my phone and was just like, I put it over the like rail, and I'm like right down there in front of him, just like I popped off like 30 pictures too, by the way.
Right.
Some of the ones you can't see, he's just laying there and he's just pulling glass out of his pants. And just out of the backs of his legs and just like throwing it. Dude, it was incredible. Speaking
of that match, I popped for the question, but then I popped even more when I saw who wrote it from Moonlight Graham. Greatest handle ever, by the way. Cassidy, have you heard anything on the Domino's front?
only what Bix wrote. Just talking to Bix. We talked about that this morning a little bit, he and I, and last night. So he does good articles, man. I love Bix. He tends to find some really shady potential stuff that he uncovers, though. And I haven't heard anything one way or the other about it, but it wouldn't surprise me, honestly.
Well, and to anybody who doesn't know what you're talking about, you want to elaborate a little bit on what that article is? And...
Yeah, so during Dynamite, Nick Gage and Jericho, there was lots of pizza cutter to the forehead stuff that Gage was doing to Jericho, and I had no idea because I was there. So the only way I knew about it is because my mom texted me, and she's laughing her ass off. She's like, "Oh my God, that was so funny." She's
Shout
like,
out,
"What
Mrs.
are you talking
Haynes,
about, Mom?"
My favorite.
Yeah, I'm like, "What are you talking
world.
about?" And she's like, "Oh, the whole pizza cutter commercial thing." I'm like, how do I know what commercials are on, Mom? I'm
See, this is the problem.
You know,
you're always needlessly bashing your mother. Like, okay, she's jazzed.
I'm not.
Up
I'm just. It's just
something,
like
and
just
God
like the logic.
forbid-
I didn't understand it. She's talking to me like I understand what she's talking about. I'm like,
Give
what
her
are you
a
talking
break.
about? But apparently they shot as soon as they went to commercial from Nick Gage doing the pizza cutter, it was a Domino's commercial, which is just that's amazing.
And it wasn't even just that it was a Domino's commercial. It was a Domino's commercial with somebody using the pizza cutter slicing into the pizza. So it was like timed up.
No,
perfectly.
I wasn't there. I wasn't able to see it. I haven't seen it yet. I just heard about it. Yeah, I DVR'd it, but like I think I fast forward through commercials or something. Maybe I don't know.
Right. And
but anyway, no.
What about the rest of the
great,
trip?
Man.
Yeah, that was a great show, just in general. What do you take from
that crowd? Was insanely hot. Like that was probably one of the loudest ever in Charlotte I've been to. That was one of the loudest shows I've ever been to in Charlotte, for sure. But that crowd was, man, it was packed too. A lot more people there than last time when right before, because last time they were in Charlotte was the Go Home show for Full Gear 2019. Shazza was there. Our friend Shazza was at that show in Charlotte last time, so we missed her in Charlotte, of course.
Hopefully by the next time they're in Charlotte, she'll be back.
Yeah, but no, it was insane, man. That was an atmosphere. It was good, man. They're on a roll, man. AEW is right now. Like every crowd is hot. So they got to keep it going. Next week, I'll be there next week too. So we'll see how next week, see if they can carry that momentum. Right now, the card.
You're like
okay,
moving with the active
know,
roster.
Yeah.
Also, what's up, JJ?
I'll travel with you guys.
JJ, head of PR from the Distraction
Podcast.
Hey,
JJ, big fan, what's up, buddy?
Big fan of him and their content over at the Distraction.
What's up, JJ?
They're like us, only professional. It's like if
you say that, but they're not that. They look professional, but they don't act professional. They're like us. What are you talking about?
Well, whatever. But that's the point. That's the point. They know what they're doing.
Those are my boys.
Nah,
they know what they're doing. But yeah, they're one of us. You hung out with Jeremy in
in Baltimore. I love Jeremy.
Baltimore, right? Yeah. And I think hopefully Joe makes it over here. I think he's been talking about coming over for some shows hopping the pond from the island over there to visit us.
I don't know what's going on with the restrictions.
I'm trying to get you to go to.
Well, just got
be
back
different. Speaking of that,
I just got
that
back
COVID article I wrote got a little heat too. Got a little heat off that COVID article. Apparently, AEW wasn't happy with me inciting a panic. Is what I was told.
Oh, really? See, I kind of
because of course fans started freaking out because like, oh, are my tickets safe? Or should I even buy a ticket? Yeah, dude. I mean, it's pay attention to the news. That's all. Like,
Yeah, like
that's what they're doing. They can't. They can't help it. You know. I mean,
come on. What are you, the CDC?
Nobody can help what's going to happen. Nobody can help what's going to happen. And of course, everybody's making a contingency plan and a back plan just in case. Like it's bad planning if you don't. So like, I don't know why everybody was so worried about that information getting out. I mean, WWE is working on one, as Zarian said. I don't know exactly what theirs is. I think he said they were talking in some buildings, maybe 5 buildings they were looking at, but he didn't know which ones, just in case. But the plan is to go forward, man. Everything is to keep the wheels moving unless something happens, and they, all we can do is just hope for the best, and maybe people will pay attention to the new mandates they're putting down to keep it from getting out of control again. That's kind of where we're at now, I guess, right?
Well, and you know what? To put it the other way, I just took a trip to and from Missouri, which is apparently one of the 4 biggest hotbeds of this Delta. So
is Charlotte. So we both just dipped our fingers into the honey pot there, man, to see how much COVID we can catch.
But we're both vaxxed, and I just actually yesterday got the results of my COVID test back that I'm negative for Delta and all that. So it's not to say that like, oh, you can't travel. Just be smart about it. If you're vaccinated, still wear a mask. If you're unvaccinated, just follow all the protocols that you would have to follow otherwise. But it's, we've been we've been living in this for over a year now. I feel like people know what to do. People still travel, airlines still exist, flights still go out. I'm still using my hands and distracting everybody in the screen because I'm Italian, but that's what I do. And it looks like Cass is breaking news as we speak. But
I'm I'm actually like defending myself on Twitter. That's the worst thing to be doing. As I got like
put it
people
down.
talking shit. People talking shit. I'm like, man,
Just
you
put
know
it
what?
down. Just put it down.
I know. I'm listening to you.
That's the problem. I need to be listening to you, not worrying about what you're doing on Twitter. As I'm going behind me to get my iced tea. I got three things going at once. But so I was talking about Kansas City, and Kansas City does not open before like noon. It's insane.
Really? Yeah. I've never been. So honestly, how was the barbecue?
Barbecue is definitely good. I didn't get enough of it, but because that's the thing. I had two objectives out there: go to a Royals game, go to Raw. Other than that, we stopped at Jack Stacks, which is a very old school place out there. If anybody's been there, they have a few locations. We went to the one that's close to downtown. That was awesome though. That kept us for a little while because I'm a sucker for leftovers. But yeah, one thing that I take for granted in Philly is just you can always get something to eat, which is such a fat kid mentality. But there's always something open. There's
like late night. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. See, I'm from the place where like, dude, here where I'm from, shit closes down at like 9-10 o'clock, and it's like I can only go to McDonald's. Right. You can't even count on my Waffle House anymore. Honestly, just unfortunately, but
Philly really is
back to the barbecue.
Yeah.
Is it was it a vinegary based barbecue? Was it like sweet? What was there? How? Because I've never been. And I'm a North Carolina man. We're barbecue people down here.
Yeah, but that's the big difference. And I feel like in other areas when they go big on barbecue, they say the difference is you want Kansas City style or North Carolina style. And that's not just me. Like I've known that before. It's a barbecue sauce based barbecue.
Yeah, but is it like brown sugary? Is it sweet? Is it like mapley? Is it hot? What is it?
You're getting too broad. You know what I mean? Every place has a different. I mean, the place that I went to had like a bunch of different sauces, but it's the way you cook it. It's the way that you prepare it. I mean, if you're doing ribs or slow roasted pulled pork, you're going to do it differently. If you're doing it in North Carolina, you're just letting it fall off and you're throwing the vinegar and the oil and the other seasonings and stuff in there. But if you're doing it Kansas City style, then you're doing it with the sauce, whatever sauce you're using, and you're slapping it on. And then, yeah, you have other dry rubs and stuff like that you're using, but that's where the difference is. It's not like, oh, what's the sauce taste like there as opposed to here.
Hey, man, I'm going to take your word for it because this is like
Lay's potato chips doesn't even have barbecue sauce.
I'm not a cooker. I just bought a stove yesterday, bro. Like I'm just now getting to the point where it's like, hey, I can cook shit now finally. So I'm not a chef. I'm gonna take your word on that. But Kansas City, you went to Raw. What'd you think of Raw, man? How was it? How was it being there? What was the crowd like? Because I'm gonna ask you this, bro. How'd you feel not getting Cena on the air, man? I was a little, for me, tuning into the show, I had a hard time watching because I'm like, the fuck is Cena? Like I'm all in for Cena right now, and then like that's what I was actually caring about seeing, and then it just like it didn't happen, and it just kind of felt like, oh, we're back to the same old shit again. But how was it live? Was it different than it was watching it on TV? Because like it felt like a struggle for me to get right back to it, like it was 3 weeks ago instead of where they were following Money in the Bank when you had all that momentum.
I can see that because it felt like an episode that if I was just watching it at home, I'd probably tune out for a lot of it. But I've always felt this way too. Seeing a show live, even if it's not like a big show where a lot happens, there's just something different. Like it feels different. There's a different excitement to it. Everything feels more real in the matches. And when people were hitting it, it sells better.
I've said that with NASCAR too. Like I'm not a NASCAR fan, but dude, I'll go to a race. If anybody's like, hey, do you want to go to the race? Yeah, dude, let's go. That shit's so fun to do live. But if somebody's like, hey man, do you want to come over and watch the race? And be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why would you got alcohol or like a lot of it? Because that's the only way that's going to be fun for me.
Right.
But going there live is totally different, man. So it's like with wrestling. And I would say that's non-wrestling fans too. Anytime I'm like, just go live with me. You'll have a blast.
Right.
I mean, you might not like it on TV, but go watch it live with me, and it'll probably change your mind. You know, and I've had that happen a lot of times too, and that's
a few times.
That's the fun thing about wrestling too, man. Like there should be something for everybody. So if it's done right, but so what happened afterwards? You got Cena in the dark, right?
Cena came back out, and he and Matt
Well, he didn't
Riddle,
come out on the show at all on Monday, did he?
well, and that answers your question. He didn't, and I don't really care because I still saw John Cena, and what I saw was, and it seems like this is what he's doing on a lot of the dark matches when he shows up, like, you know, after TV goes off the air, is he's teaming with Matt Riddle. And he and, you know, the two of them are kind of doing things together because they had a tag team match against Mason T-Bar. So I don't mind. I got to see Riddle twice. Sam got to see Riddle twice. That's her favorite. So she was very excited. And I posted a lot of the pictures that I took onto the Body Slam Twitter account. And you could see, you know, we were lucky enough to have really close seats. So just to get the two of them doing their poses together, you know, that was pretty cool to see. And if it's not on TV, I don't really care. If anything, it makes it cooler because, I did get to see it. If I was watching it on TV, I wouldn't have, you know, I would have missed it. So
I'm trying.
Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated.
Oh, yeah, let me put that totally ruined. I was like, let me pour this White Claw in this cup so nobody knows I'm drinking. And I'm like, oh, shit. I didn't look at the camera while I was doing it. So why does Steven point now? Here we go.
So
it's afternoon. It's a Saturday. Don't judge.
What happens at All Out? We're all over the place.
See, this is what I love about this. Everybody's so upset about like Hangman losing at Fight for the Fallen, and now like, obviously the match is off at All Out.
Is it?
If you pay attention, what did I tell you months or weeks ago on our show when we talked about this? I said it makes sense to me to just have the culmination of this happen at Full Gear. So I fully anticipated that all along. So when everybody was saying All Out, I kind of felt like that shit was rushed. I was like, dude, why are you going to rush it? You can stretch out another 2 months and have it at Full Gear, the pay-per-view named for him. Why not have the guy win at the pay-per-view named for him? What did WWE do throughout history? Like what was those there's the Rock Bottom pay-per-view. Wasn't that the first time that the Rock won the title or whatever it was? Stuff like that. I mean, the In Your House Degeneration X pay-per-view, whatever that was called, or the back in the night, was the one where Shawn Michaels and Triple H had their big moment and got the belt. So I mean, it's just like, this obviously is a pay-per-view name for him. Have that be his night. And this is just such a good ripple in the story too. It just makes the chase this much better. And I think people are missing the point in this whole thing. Is this whole storyline is about like finding out who your true friends are. Right? All along, Heyman was like, these are my best friends. Kenny and the Elite are my best friends. They're my friends. And then as was going on, you know, he's like, I'm going to, I don't know if this is working out. You guys are kind of assholes. I'm going to go do my own thing. And then now you see these guys were fucking assholes, you know? So that's the storyline they're teaching you. Like, they're showing you here is like, and you had, the Dark Order that was, hey, we'll be your friends. Like, we love you. And he's just, they're like, whatever. And then he realizes now that, like, the guys I never thought would be my friends are like the best friends I could ever want to have. They're like my real friends. That's what the Dark Order is. These are the guys that, like, he's like, they're going to always be there for him when he needs them, regardless of like what happens, right now. So Hangman loses. He's going to have this whole, like, I let everybody down. Not only did he let himself down, because now he doesn't get the match, but the Dark Order doesn't get the tag match. So Hangman's going to have this whole, here I am, I let everybody down. And I see him like trying to spiral out again, drinking, going alone. But Dark Order's not going to let it happen. Like, you didn't let us down, we let you down. You know what I mean? Like, because he was the last one left. It's just, the storytelling here is so good, and it just adds a new ripple with more of like trying to make Hangman and the Dark Order come together. He just prolongs that. There's going to be, we know there's going to be something that happens along the way that gets him this title match. And there's just, I'm a fan for prolonged storylines, man. So I'm in no hurry to see Hangman get his title shot, and I don't think anybody else is either.
That's how I feel too. And JJ's commenting too that he feels the same way. He loves the storytelling, and I think there's still a lot to be told. And I think part of the reason why it's so good is because I could see an outcome that's completely different from what you just said. Honestly, I could see him going the other way and getting that edge where he needs to realize that he needs to focus on just him. No friends, no drinking.
No, this is the point of this.
Maybe.
This is the point of this, man. It's like find out who your true friends are in the long run. You know, the people you thought you're going to be who they're for you aren't, and you know what I mean.
Right.
That's
Yours is a
what,
lot
and
sweeter.
you're gonna get the Dark Order lifting Hangman up on his shoulders at the end of when he wins. It's gonna be that moment where there's everybody comes out to celebrate with him, and you it's there. That's money, dude. This Hangman Dark Order stuff, they've been doing it for what, over a year now. The long storytelling that AEW does is great. That's one of the reasons I enjoy AEW's product more than WWE is because of the fact that WWE's storytelling arcs are no more than 3 months at the most.
Yeah.
You got
It's
1
a
to 3
shame.
months to tell a story, and then they're like, that's it. We don't do that. It's very rare. They do it sometimes, but it's not like it's something that they're constantly building on every week too. They might do it 1-2 weeks, and then like you don't see it again for a while. Then
Right.
here it is again. We're still teasing it, but like not the way AEW does it. So I'm all invested in this Hangman story, man.
Well, I said it
It's
before.
we're
WWE loves to plant seeds, and then
Mhm.
they'll go and they'll water that flower if and when they decide that it's relevant for them to do so. But
I agree with JJ. Hangman needs to find himself and overcome the fear of failure, and that's what's going to happen. And the Dark Order is going to help him do that because Hangman put, that's how I feel like it's going to be. It's, Hangman put all this pressure on himself, to not let everybody else down. And then he's going to see that, he didn't let them down. They don't feel that way. And
right.
it's about him overcoming all these obstacles and personal things to finally, get to where he needs to be. And it's going to be great. And we're all going to love it. Everybody's just really critical because they wanted it in Chicago. And I still don't understand that. Like, I don't understand why you would want it not at the pay-per-view it's his pay-per-view, man. Full Gear is the Hangman pay-per-view. So, yeah, that's where it should happen to me. Like, I just don't see any way around that.
Shout out to Bill's Mafia, who's agreeing with you. But
Bill's Mafia.
I'll tell you what, though, even though WWE really, I feel like comes in second when it comes to storytelling, I love the stories that are being told across the board right now. I love what NXT is doing, both with the women's, even though what they're doing with the women's title is predictable. It's something that I've been waiting to see it happen because it's a good story to tell. And with the $1 million championship, all of that is gold, in my opinion, with your boy.
Hey, I love Cameron Grimes, boy. That's my dude.
Or Grimy, as he liked to be called.
Grimy, my man Trevor Lee. He's a Carolina boy, man. He cut his teeth an hour and a half, 2 hours up the road, man. I've watched him for years, so I love seeing it, man. I love seeing that.
Shout out to Mike Butler, who's simultaneously recording a podcast while showing love in ours.
I like that he called. What did he call me? Just an AEW roadie.
The jabronis do it all, man.
Yeah, dude, we got that. I got them over last week. Did you see that?
I did.
How many views our show got? Look at that, man. Got you guys over.
What's because you're breaking all the good news on their show.
And I got a little bit more. I got another little update for everybody later. I didn't have a whole lot today. I had a couple pieces. I still got a little bit more for an update, and we'll get to that. So, Fight for the Fallen. Let's go back. Let's circle back to Fight for the Fallen because that's what everybody was talking about this week.
Hold on.
Did you catch up and watch it yet?
Hold on. Let me do this. Yeah, I did. What do you mean? Did I watch Fight for the Fallen? I'm all caught up.
I know
you. Up on Fight for the Fallen.
I know you.
I'm catching myself up on Ring of Honor now. I'm all in. I'm all up on AEW and all WWE, and I'm like 2 weeks behind on Ring of Honor on the Fight app because that's nice. Very underrated as well. But I already talked about that. But look, how about this? We will drop.
I want to take a minute to push our Pro Wrestling Tees store because I never do this. Do you see this? You guys see this nice plans changed Body Slam shirt? Go to the Pro Wrestling Tees Body Slam store. You can get that. We got some other going. I got a Big If True. We got the straight Body Slam logo one. And then the one I was really wanting to wear to Dynamite for Fight for the Fallen was the one that it's in big letters that says source in quotation marks. Cause I'm so tired of hearing everybody asking me for my source. Like I'm going to give up sources to make you feel better about my report. Like you have any idea how journalism works. That's not how journalism works, Cassidy. Fucking assholes. I'm so sick of people asking me for for my sources so they can.
When you tell me that, it's so fun. It's like walking up to a magician, be like, "All right, now come on, now tell me how you did it."
Yeah, dude. Like, really? Do they? Yeah. Are they going to explain? Wait, David Blaine, I don't believe your magic. source. Show me how you did it, or I don't. Come on, people. Like, that's not how shit works.
You could be like the masked magician that was on TV in the 90s, early 2000s. You could be like that one journalist that just immediately sinks his sources as soon as he breaks the story.
Yeah, because that's what I want to do. I want to have one good scoop and then never get any more information ever again. Yeah, fucking assholes.
Okay,
anyway,
stop.
So wait, I'm looking at the comments here. Some stuff's happening. Do you see this?
Wow. Shout out to Moonlight Graham, who's breaking news for us.
Yeah, see, I'm not on the Twitter gimmick right now, but it sounds like Bray Wyatt. If I'm telling you right now,
wow.
If Sean Ross Sapp says that Bray Wyatt has been cut, then Bray Wyatt has been cut because Sean knows his shit. If Sean says that's what's happening, that's what's happening. Because last time Sean was like, "There's cuts coming. There's cuts coming." There was numerous people in WWE that were like, "Hey man, I'm not on the cut list today, am I?" Because they don't know before Sean knows before they know half the time. So if Sean's saying somebody's cut, then that's probably
yeah.
That's
a shame.
If anybody wants to, that's all. I don't know anything about it. My WWE sources aren't that deep. I have a couple, but it's not as easy for me to get that stuff. But yeah, if Sean's saying it, guys, then that's probably what's up.
Yeah. The homie Moonlight Graham is saying WWE tweeted Wyatt has been released and then quickly deleted it. Per Sean Ross Sapp, Wyatt has been released.
Yeah, sounds like it. Shit. Looks like I'm gonna have to write some articles up when we get done.
Per SRS via Moonlight Graham.
Yeah, that sounds right to me, man. But
dude, well, I'll tell you what though. I don't think that means that we immediately see him in AEW. Like,
no, you got at least 90 days before you see him anywhere if they release him.
No, this might mean, unfortunately, because what if he's just done with wrestling? What if he's just had enough?
Dude, I said this when we were talking to Shazza, dude. Do you really think somebody's going to let you don't? These guys don't want their career to end other than like the way they want it to.
I don't know, man. Bray seems like somebody who he feels real.
Imagine him in a place where he gets a little bit of free range to like be himself and create characters and do what he wants to do and not be so fucking handcuffed and damn restricted into his ability to be the superstar that he could have been.
Right. Well, I mean, I just look, and I feel like such a softy whenever I say this stuff, but like, I just want to see the dude happy. I felt so bad when
and I think he'll be happy. I think he'd be happy somewhere than WWE, and that's a feeling that a lot of people have had, man. Carl Anderson went ahead and what did Carl Anderson tweeted Sapp the other day about it? Just see that? He said you'd be surprised how Carl Anderson tweeted Sapp or responded to one of his tweets and said you'd be surprised how many texts I get from people in WWE that are unhappy.
Really?
Or something like along those lines. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along those lines. So I mean, if you're unhappy there, man, there's plenty of places to go work and be happy. Damn. And I've never heard anybody, man. That's another thing I said too. Like everybody that I talked to within AEW that has come over from working elsewhere, this is the happiest they've ever been.
Yeah.
I mean, they so enjoy working for this company, So I would hate to see somebody quit wrestling because of the way that WWE did them before they know what could possibly be somewhere else. You know what I mean? There's tons of places to work. Ring of Honor is a great place to work. Impact's a great place to work. New Japan's a great place to work. You can make the money he'd make on the indies is fucking insane. You know what I mean?
The funny thing is all of the places that you just mentioned are all like working with each other. You know what I mean?
There you go. So
what if instead of the Super 8, we have a Super Duper 8? In 2022, where each company has like one or two people that represents in a Euro Cup style.
I mean, that'd be great. But then here's the problem. There is like ultimately somebody has to win.
Yeah.
So who decides that? You know what I mean? Like, and you know what I mean? And for some, it'd be great, but like I just don't see like all those companies being like, yeah, okay, your guy can be the guy that's better than all of our guys. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to want their guy to be the guy. So like, I think somebody's going to have to sacrifice, there's going to have to be compromises, and that's just a hard thing to do in wrestling,
But I don't know. I feel like, and tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I feel like now more than ever, I believe in all of the non-WWE American products to be on the same page, to be like, all right, like I could see Tony Khan and all of those people in AEW being like, this is good for wrestling. We don't need to win this cup for 4 years, but we'll provide talent to it. You know what I mean? And give the rub to Impact, Ring of Honor, maybe even, you know, GSW or some of the other companies that are out there, freelance, you know,
Yeah.
who knows? But
So let's circle back because I still got a little news I've been sitting on here too that I don't want to forget about before we get way too deep into the show.
well, I'll tell you what, to push somebody else that we've had on before as a little hint. First person to name the person whose shirt I'm wearing will that's when we'll drop the news. If somebody can name it in the comments, the person whose shirt I'm wearing, that's when we'll drop that news. Does that work?
I mean, it works for me. So what do you want to talk about until the meantime?
I don't know. If it doesn't happen, then we just hold on to the news.
No, we're
And
not doing that. I need to give this update. People have been blowing me up for days asking me about an update on this. So like, now I gotta give them an update.
Well, people need to go into the archives to see any of the many interviews that we've done in the past with
it's
several different stars.
Show.
It's a friend of the show who has been on before. And
anyway, let's just talk Dynamite. Let's just go back to it. What did you
want to go
think?
back to Dynamite?
I want to hear you talk about it because you watched it on TV first. So like, I want to hear what you thought. What was your favorite part of the show? What did you like? What didn't you like? Talk about it to me. Chat me up, brother.
Honestly, I have so little to criticize in wrestling in general anymore. Honestly, I feel like every time I watch wrestling, I just enjoy it anymore. I'm not watching anything and being like, oh, this could be better. That could be done differently. From the time I turned it on and they were starting with the whole Space Jam stuff, even when they were like being stupid with the
that was
basketballs.
So good. Dude, the interpromotional crossover is amazing too. You know what I mean? Like Warner owns Space Jam.
Right.
So I mean, like, it's amazing. Yeah, here's WWE's tweet. WWE has come to the terms on the release of Bray Wyatt. We wish him the best in his future endeavors.
Yeah. So
crazy.
Unfortunately.
Anyway.
But honestly, I mean, if you were pulled in from that, I honestly was really, really shook when I saw how quickly the Pride and Powerful versus FTR match was done, and I hope that Cash is okay.
That's what I want to get at. That's what
I want to get
at right now.
Honestly, let's just break it. I'm disappointed that nobody hit up in the comments, but this is Space Jesus, Billy Starks, one of the greatest on the indies doing it.
I love Billy. She had a good weekend up at GCW too, in New Jersey.
Girl is killing the indies, wrestling all over the country, and
she's almost 17
for the SATs.
She's almost 17. She's not even 17 yet.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure because I know she's not 18. I know because we had this. Maybe she's 17, but she's not 18. She's only 17, 16 years old, dude. It's insane.
I know she was. It's. Oh, and it sounds creepy to say it, but watch the interview, guys, because this girl's awesome. She's so great. Polished for her age. She seems way older than you would think, and the fact that she's been so just involved in the industry and killing it on the indies in a bunch of different promotions, and the fact that she's already a name.
Future star, bro.
Exactly. But anyway,
so that match between Santana Ortiz and my homies FTR was insane in a bad way, unfortunately.
Yeah. And between the build up,
dude, I was there live, man. I was there live, and I was I was sitting not 8-10 feet from Cash and Dax in that corner. So in their tag corner. So I was like the opposite corner from where it happened with Cash. But man, like, we locked eyes at one point when it happened, man, and I could see how real that shit was, like, instantly. So he's on the top. Everybody saw it. Santana pushes him off. So this is the update. So what happened? Everybody was like, how did it happen? What happened? He impaled his forearm when he got pushed off, and the turnbuckle hook. So I guess the hook that connects to the post, I assume it's the hook goes down, but I guess maybe it was to the side. So when he fell, it just cut his forearm. So the turnbuckle hook took a chunk out of his arm, and it was bad, bro. It was bad. So they instantly had to call an audible and change the finish of the matchup. Right.
And it was easy to see that's where
that wasn't definitely not the finish of the match. That was not the finish of the match. They were going to hit the superplex splash, but of course they got interrupted. So there's going to be some stuff after that. Obviously, that wasn't what happened. You know, I mean, we didn't see the actual finish of that match. It was probably cut. I have no idea how much time shaved off of it, but there was no way that was anywhere near where we were getting it for the finish. We barely got into that match, but he to continue to update. So yeah, he impaled his forearm on the hook, and they were able to. He did not have to go. He did not have to go to the emergency room. I was told. They stitched him up in the back. The doctors were able to take care of him and stitch him up in the back, and he was said to be in very good spirits afterwards, perfectly happy and fine. Last night I talked to him. Last night he went to the MMA, some MMA show, and he was watching. He had good seats, and he was feeling good and in good spirits. So
Good. So
I don't know how long he's going to be out. I don't know how long he's going to be out. He didn't. I haven't talked to him about that or anything. But
if it's a deep cut, he probably has to wait until the wound closes, I would think.
Yeah, he's probably going to be bandaged up for a while for sure on that. I like I said, I talked to him that night when it happened because I'd hoped to run into him and see him because that's, like I said, that's my friend. I've known him since he was before, just when he was starting out, when he was still doing the indies here in Asheville and in Georgia and everywhere. So like we've been friends for years and years and years. So I was legitimately concerned and freaked out and worried for my friend at that moment,
Yeah,
So
of course.
I wasn't fishing for updates and scoops and any of that stuff. Like I was concerned for my friend when I hit him up and asked him how he was doing, and I was literally worried because it looked bad. I could see in his eyes, like it looked like he was scared.
And it looked like bad, everybody else in the match.
Was it was bad. And you saw Dax tweeted something about like people in his inbox asking him how Cash was doing. And he was like something about if you're just asking me how he's doing to get in your newsletter or web sheet or whatever, about watching my best friend bleed out. So yeah, that's how I felt too. I was freaking out, man. Like I said, I've known the guy for over 10 years. So to see that happen was such a freak accident. Those guys go so hard in the ring. And that was one of those things that just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
but he'll be okay. He told me himself, like I said, the night that it happened, I'll be all good, man. So I mean, he'll be good. Like he went to watch some MMA last night, so he's fine. He'll be good. I was scared, man. Like, oh, there was so much blood. There was so much blood too. Watching, I didn't realize how much there was until they were cleaning it up, and like all the rags and towels were just like completely just blood red. So
well, and I don't know if
oh shit, that's a lot of blood, bro.
I don't know if I just missed it, but watching it from the TV angle, you didn't notice how much blood there was at all.
No, you couldn't see it from TV. And I couldn't see it until they cleaned it up.
Okay.
But when they cleaned it up, I was like, oh, shit. And then that one spot afterwards when you see when Dax gets out of the ring after the finish, and he goes straight over to him, and Cash is holding his arm, like pinching that shit closed, trying to keep it from bleeding, and they're trying to work on it. You see like how much is on the mat on the outside, but that was real scary. But yeah, he'll be okay. It sounds like he's good. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but man, that was sketchy, man. That was real sketchy.
Watching it from the TV angle, I worried that he came down and like fractured something or like broke something so bad.
Yeah, a lot of people were asking me about that. They thought that he had fractured it, and I was like, no, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a fracture. It was a cut, because that's what he told me. But I didn't know any details until I talked to some other people. He didn't really give me that. He didn't give me that update himself. Like that was everybody else that had talked to me, other than him saying he was going to be fine. And I know that he was at MMA last night because we talked about fighting, but we didn't. I didn't really talk about the injury too much. Like everybody else told me what had happened there, that he'd gotten stitched up in the back and didn't have to go to the emergency room. So that's really good. So that means it wasn't as bad as I'd initially thought, just from the reaction and the look of things, that they were able to take care of him in the back. So yeah, I'm really glad he's okay, man. That was pretty intense few moments right there.
Yeah,
I didn't even see how the finish of the match went. As soon as that happened, my attention was like, oh shit, and it was on him and seeing what happened. I still couldn't tell you how the finish of the match went down, how Dax got the win. I even watched it on replay. I watched the DVR version the whole time. I'm watching to see what's going on. Like everybody, I'm watching everybody around the ring to see what's happening, because that's the first. I was like, yeah, but
as far as I can remember, I know Dax, I think, hit him with a power bomb or hit him with something where he set him up on the rope
or something. Yeah, something.
Yeah, and he he kicked out, and then they just went through like a real quick transition, hit him with another one, and he stayed down for that. So it was definitely like, all right, let's get out of here quick and just go home. So I don't think there was much planning on it.
No, that once he went off the top and he hit his arm, everything there was an audible real quick,
Oh, but I even mean just the way that they went home in that emergency situation. I don't think that they had like a contingency plan in place. Like,
no,
all right,
no.
plan C,
No, there wasn't
kinda...
like, oh, if something happens, this is how we're going to finish. It was like, oh shit, we got to get to the back, so let's just wrap this up. And then they just probably talked it out real quick in the ring between the two of them. I think it was Ortiz and Dax in the ring the whole time there. But
yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, that was sketchy, but the whole show was great, man, top to bottom. There was it was weird because like I think that I'd gotten an alert beforehand going there that the doors opened at 5 and that taping began at 6. So I think there was going to be like 2 hours of taping before the show, and I think they were going to do some stuff live, like some live broadcasting is what I heard. But there was like a problem running live, I think, because doors didn't end up opening to 6 and the taping's didn't start till 7. And then we did so much more on the back end after Dynamite. They taped everything afterwards that it was, man, the main event was like 11:45, almost midnight when the main event happened.
Really?
Yeah, that they taped the Kenny Omega or the Eddie Kingston and I'm drawing a blank. Eddie Kingston wrestled somebody. No offense to that person. I'm drawing a blank, man. It was so late at night. I can't remember who he wrestled.
And you hate on me.
Dude, in my defense, I left Waynesville at 12:30 and we were drinking from like once we started, because it wasn't any media stuff. So I was just like, I'm just there to have fun today, man. You know what I mean? I was there as a fan. I was sitting front row as a fan, not doing media stuff. So I was there drinking and hanging out and having fun. But so by 11:45, man, it was a long day, but Eddie Kingston worked I have all my notes on my phone, but I don't feel like pulling my phone up to bring it up to remember. But it was good. The whole night was good, man. The crowd stayed too. I'm real surprised how much crowd stuck around to the end too. Not that many people left. So like for the dark tapings, there was a lot of people that toughed it out until like way, way, way late at night. So
I think people are just starved for the live entertainment again. I know I am.
I know they also did this whole thing too. They said that Moxley was going to wrestle, so they tell everybody that, and then Moxley was like the second to last. He was the match before Eddie's match, I think. Yeah. So it's like, oh, people waited this long for Moxley, we might as well stay for the last match and get Eddie. Right. So I mean, they did a good job, like putting the way they presented, the filming of it to make people stay. But I think most people would have stayed anyway, just because like that crowd was so starved for good wrestling, and they got it good.
That was a good show to be at, my man.
It really was, man. And I'm looking forward to next week at Homecoming, even though the card, isn't as, the Fight for the Fallen card was stacked, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stacked. But we get next week? We get Hoovy and Jericho. We get Malachi Black and Cody. Mm-hmm. And then we get some other good stuff too. We get was it Christian and the Blade?
Oh yeah, that's right. I can look it up.
We get Miro and Shotty Lee. Something else too. So Homecoming should be good. And I would say they've got stuff planned, even though that they haven't announced for it. I mean, they love Jacksonville. Jacksonville's their home, so I feel like Jacksonville's is not gonna be disappointed and upset with the way everything goes.
Oh, you know what? So you said Miro versus Lee Johnson. I love what they're doing with Miro right now, by the way. I'm a big fan of the way that he's been handling like this is my destiny and actually doing it right. I don't know if you mentioned this, Bunny versus Layla Hirsch, your girl Layla Hirsch. She's going to be on the card.
Yeah, that's right. She wrestled the Bunny. I saw that. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to that one, man. I love Layla, man. She's fun to watch, and the Bunny's. I like watching the Bunny. She's entertaining. She's very entertaining. It's a good character. It's a real good character. I hope Andy comes back from injury soon. I'm waiting for the Butcher to show back up, man.
Right. Thank you, Bill's Mafia. That Layla Hirsch and Bunny match is actually a NWA Women's Eliminator match.
Ah, okay.
So, some stakes on the line for that as well.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk real quick about what's coming up at TNA Takeover or NXT Takeover 36 with Samoa Joe back in the ring against Karrion Kross. I forget about what they did with Karrion Kross on Raw and SmackDown. Just focus on NXT. I can't wait for this match. I am so hyped for Samoa Joe to be back in the ring and a competitor aspect because he's one of my hands down favorites.
Yeah, dude. I was actually at the NXT show in Full Sail when he debuted.
Mm.
And you know who he wrestled in his debut match?
Wasn't it either Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn?
Not in his debut match. They started the program with Owens, but he wrestled my man Scott Dawson, Dax Harwood, in his first
Really?
ever match. Yeah, I'm pretty
Interesting.
sure. Pretty sure about that because I was like, no shit.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure. It was either him or because I think Braun Strowman even wrestled for one of the first two times like on that same card.
Okay.
That they had Samoa Joe debut, and it was either Braun Strowman got Dax or Samoa Joe did, and somebody else got fed. But I'm pretty sure it was Samoa Joe and Scott Dawson. But no, I love
Okay.
Samoa Joe, man. I've always been a Samoa Joe fan. You know me, I love TNA, so I've been a big Samoa Joe guy for shit as long as he's been on my radar.
Everything about him, just his intensity, his professionalism, his presence, and knowing everything about where the cameras are and the level that he needs to be at, the way his
Yeah.
theme music bumps when he comes out, with or without fans going, Joe, Joe, Joe. It just everything he does is just awesome.
Yeah, that working the camera was something that like that was fun to watch Dynamite because you know Nick Gage got such a good shine and it was interesting to see like does he know how to work the hard cam? You know what I mean? Like that's what a lot of people were saying. And a little bit he wasn't. You know, sometimes he was working not the hard cam, then you have to turn to it. So it was like, he's getting it. He's getting it. Give him a break, guys. This is new to him, you know?
I don't even care because I feel like he's so good with his intensity that like him missing the hard cam also kind of lends itself to the reality of
Oh yeah, that it's
or
not
the
as
fake, the intensity.
yeah,
I
that
should
it's not like,
say.
oh, look at him. It's just like he's working to the camera, like he's actually working
Right.
for the fans. And that was what was good with Gage is like most of the time he was playing off the crowd. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
wasn't there. Man, that crowd was all in for him too, man. They were hype for some Nick
That was a
Gage. And I
wild
love to see
match.
that, man. I love to see it. He deserves it, dude. He's such a good dude.
Yeah.
He really is, man. That's like a redemption story too, man. From where he was spiraling out and where he found himself at, and was able to get back to where he's at now, man. You know, addiction, and it's a hard thing to overcome.
Not
And you saw where it
not
put him. You
just
know, everybody got
addiction,
to see
man.
where it put him.
Yeah, it's addiction, a lot of loss and a lot of just a lot of hard shit in between just living
Well,
where you're
yeah, I
living
mean,
and
you know,
coming
he
up where
ended
you're
up
coming
in
up.
jail. You know, he ended up in prison. He ended up in prison, but you know, I mean, it had a lot to do with like the fact that he had
Yeah,
substance abuse issues and
every,
addiction, and you know, it led to bad decisions, really bad decisions. And you know,
everybody
if
knows that,
like
but it's the
the fans
life
saved
that
him.
you're
The fans
living.
saved him, man, and he loves it. He
That's
loves the fans.
exactly what
Nobody,
I was trying to get at. Was it's the life that you're living
yeah,
after the fact, once you go through all that BS and living where you're at, trying to make through each day with all of
right,
that crap around you. It's his intensity comes from literally leaning on the fans as his new, you can call it your new crutch, but it's a positive
right.
crutch to lean on.
It
You
is.
know what I mean? So it's that's one of the things that makes him so unique on the indies is it feels like you get an immediate return on your investment in being a Nick Gage fan because you see how much when he gets that energy from the fans and in a way
Yeah,
that everybody else does, but
as much as you're giving to him, you feel like he gives it right back. You know what I mean? Like as much as you're there cheering for him, it's like he's able to connect with you and let you know that he's doing it for you, and he's
yeah.
there for you, and you don't feel like you just feel you feel like you're part of his crew. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole thing that he says, "Murder, we're MDK crew," and he makes you feel like that. He really does. Like it's I love seeing him get that spotlight. You know, and I hope that
I like
he gets
seeing
more.
GCW getting that spotlight too, because I mean, honestly, that's a really cool promotion. Whether or not you like the whole hardcore
And
aspect, but
they don't always, and that's the thing too. They get like, oh, they're just death match. They're not. They have that. They sprinkle it in. You don't get 8 death matches on their show. You know what I mean? You get
right,
really good, really good wrestling,
right.
and then they'll drop that in there as they need to. And I feel like they're good about not overdoing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's something that I feel like they do well. And I mean, they've produced some really good stars. I mean AEW's. I mean, look at Marco Stunt, Jungle Boy, Joey Janela came from. I mean, there's some others too, and then you got and NXT. Jake Atlas got his shine there.
We have the voice in our archives, Emil J. And the Festivus Miracle is
This is
one of
true.
our earlier
our buddy,
episodes.
our buddy Emil doing the announcing, and
And
my friend,
if you're a friend of
Denise. My friend Denise that I got to hang out with at Double or Nothing, Denise Sakedo, she's Fightful Denise. She's going to be doing their ring announcing when they go to when GCW goes to California. She announced the other day.
Cool.
So Emil won't be taking the trip. It doesn't, I guess, to do the announcing. It'll be Denise instead. But
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I love.
But if you like him, or if you like Seinfeld, we do a lot of talking about both in that episode. So
yeah, dude.
Go back in the archives, check that one out. Where are you going to be coming up? I think you alluded to it a little bit, but you're going to be all over the place in the next few months. Yeah, hang out, make yourself at home. Relax, take a load off.
It's gonna be busy this next couple weeks, man. Like next week, I'm going just to Jacksonville just for Dynamite. I'm probably not even going to stay 2 nights. I'm probably just going to go down for one night, and that's going to be a haul. I'll probably leave middle of the night and just get down there like first thing Wednesday morning. Maybe take a nap, hit the beach, go to Dynamite in the afternoon, wake up, drive right back 7 hours back to North Carolina. But that'll be my week next week. And then shortly after that, because that's on what's the date on that show? Is that the 4th?
I don't know, man. You're the one going to it.
Let's see. So actually, get this.
It's the 31st right now.
Yeah, so it's August 4th on Homecoming.
Until I can listen to the first of the month by Both Dogs in Harmony.
Yeah, I'll be down there for Homecoming on the 4th, and then I'm taking a vacation. After that, I'm taking a personal vacation, which I never do. No wrestling involved.
Your whole life is a vacation. Are you kidding me?
But usually I sprinkle wrestling in as an excuse to make it a vacation work trip.
That's some BS. My vacations are literally how you spend your work.
Yeah, my actual vacation, I'm going to stay with my buddy Steve from Ringside News. I'm hang out with him for a couple days. Yeah, Steve. I'm gonna go visit Steve down in Florida.
Plug him. What's his?
But it's like far down in Florida, bro.
Right?
Yeah, it's like 13 hours from my house down to where he is in Cape Coral. So I'm gonna drive like a long ass way, like on the 7th. So it's like I'm gonna go down to Jacksonville on the 4th, turn around and come back home on the 5th on Thursday, and then Saturday drive right the fuck back down. And stay from like the 7th through the 11th. So I'll be kind of, I'll do a podcast. I'll be able to do the podcast in the morning, but I probably won't be doing as much work that week. So I'll be checked out for a few days. I'll still, if something big happens, I'll try to dig some stuff up, but you're going to get a few days of me just like taking some me days.
That's understandable. I feel like you always have a really good time when you're down there with him, chilling out with him and his crew down there.
And also I'm going to do some, he's going to teach me some stuff too. So we're going to try to hopefully step some production stuff up. I'm going to get
I don't want to do it. Why do you keep trying to professionalize us, man? I like the raw, gritty. Don't fake pause on me. I know what you're doing.
Did you see that? Did you like that?
That was good though.
My hands moving a little too much. It's the Vince Vaughn from Unfinished Business when he would be like on FaceTime with his wife and then be like, in the background still moving, but he's not. Yeah. I love it. So I'm gonna do that. I'm taking a couple days off. I'm gonna go to Florida, do some stuff. I never go to Florida other than wrestling, so I'm gonna go down there and actually like experience.
God
that
bless
for
you. Wear a bulletproof vest.
But
that place is like a lawless swamp.
So now that like I kept telling everybody that the United Center announcement's going to happen, which I told some people, everybody didn't believe me. I was like, hey, the date, Sean knew, some other guys knew. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is going to happen on the 20th. I couldn't get Tony to confirm. I'm surprised he told everybody on Busted Open that he and I talked, but that's what started our conversation. I was like, hey, can you confirm or deny tomorrow's announcement's going to be the United Center on the 20th or the 28th? And it was like, nope. So that's what I think. I think they're going to film 2 episodes of Rampage, or excuse me, I said Dynamite, but I meant Rampage. I think they're going to film 2 nights. I think they're going to film 2 nights of Rampage on at the United Center show, because it's just a 1-hour show. Or the first dance will be that special. Or the first dance will be that special that they talked about doing whenever they.
I think CM
remember when the announcement came out that they were debuting the show though, that they said they were going to have some special episodes that are kind of like Clash of the Champions.
I feel like
kind of like a Clash of the Champions episode. That I think that might be that. I don't see how you do just 1 hour on such a big show, but I mean they might. You know what I mean? They might do it. I would expect maybe a 2-hour one for that, and then you tape another hour for the next week. You know what I mean? So you get actually 2 weeks of United Center Rampage, but one of them is pre-taped. You know, that's kind of. I have no idea if that's what the plan actually is, but in my mind, I think that's just what they do.
If in my head, I think the first time that we see CM Punk is on the debut episode of Rampage in Chicago, just like with Lex Luger on the debut episode of Nitro. I think they're gonna write it just the same way.
I mean, they made 2 or 3 Punk references during the show, so I mean,
you know, at this point, you know it's happening. You know,
yeah, I knew it was. I mean, I know it's happening. It's just when. Like I said before, it's not if, it's when.
Right, but that's my bet. Is the first episode of the first Rampage, the debut episode of Rampage.
So hopefully I'll be. I mean, I'm gonna try
Although
to go to that.
Are his 90 days up? When was he released by WWF?
Who?
That's how long ago it feels. CM Punk.
CM Punk. It's not been too.
His 90 days are up, right?
I think his 90 days are up. Yeah, I'm not sure. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully. Cut it close,
but yeah, no, I'm gonna try to come up for that Rampage. I wasn't planning on it. Like I said, I hoped it was going to be on the 28th or 27th or 28th, so that way it's like, cool, I can just go like a week through, like, you know, almost 2 weeks being up there, because I got a friend up there, so I was going to stay, but I definitely can't stay for like a month.
Well, like what about Arthur Ashe in New York?
I was going to try to do that too, so hopefully I was going to try to do that, and man, there's a chance I might just sneak up and surprise you for Philly.
Don't sneak up and surprise me, because you need to give me advance notice, because I'm going to be back in class at that point. I want to be able to make sure I got all my crap done beforehand so I could be free to chill with you. You don't want to come up and then I'm spending the whole weekend like whatever.
It's not a weekend. It's a Wednesday. Dynamite's on a Wednesday for Philly.
No, I'm talking about the Arthur Ashe show. Is that going to be on
Wednesday?
That's
in New York. Oh, yeah. I was talking about the Philly show. I might try to do the Philly one too.
Oh, okay.
And Arthur Ashe is on a Wednesday too.
So, well, dude, I mean, you know how that goes. You can always come up and crash. Yeah. And just
Arthur Ashe is a Wednesday too, so I don't know what you're talking about for the weekend. I
thought that was a weekend show.
The 22nd. They were doing that on a weekend. 22nd of.
But I don't know anything, because Oxbow Talks Wrestling is correcting me right now, saying debut of Rampage is actually the 13th in Pittsburgh.
Debut is the 30th in Pittsburgh, and the second one is the 20th But Arthur Ashe is a Dynamite on the 22nd of September, right?
Okay, so that's a Dynamite.
Yeah. That's when we're supposedly going to get Brian, unless they've.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, if we're going to do that.
Which I even commented, I wrote that one too. I was like, like everything happened so quickly that they didn't expect both of them to fall in their lap, so they might have shuffled some stuff up. So if
we're going to do that, then it's going to have to be a one night shot, because I'll have class the day before and the day after. So
yeah, no, and if I came to Philly, I would definitely probably fly up, and you'd have to pick me up at the airport.
It's fine. We could plan that. We could plan that out. We don't have to plan that out on air, but
so hopefully do that, and then I know I'm going to try to do the entire week of Chicago for Dynamite on the 1st, Rampage on the 3rd, and then All Out on the 5th. So I'll definitely be trying to do that up there for that week. I usually go up there that week anyway, or for those shows for the week. So I'm going to try to continue my tradition for that one as well. That's usually a real fun experience. They usually do a lot of good stuff, and hopefully if the COVID restrictions don't cause them to have to cancel some FanFest stuff that I think they were talking about doing, and some fun little things that they're going to sprinkle in through the week also between the shows, because that should have been fun. But and then like I said, I'll try to do Philly after All Out. I'm not trying to do Arthur Ashe. I'm going to hopefully do Full Gear, because that's the plan. So
I'm hearing a lot of hopefullys in there. It doesn't sound like
it all kind of just depends on what I get. If I get media credentials for stuff. So
right. Well, in the meantime, in between time,
because tickets are gone for a lot of things already, bro.
If anybody is going to be in the Philly area for the August 20th and 21st. 2 nights at AEW. Geez, I'm all over the place. Old ECW arena, now the 2300 arena, to see Ring of Honor do their thing in their return. Or if you are going to be at SmackDown on September 20th or 24th, whenever SmackDown's in Philly in September, I am going to be at that as well. Probably dressed as Cactus Jack. So
that's a couple of days after the Arthur Ashe show.
keep an eye out. Yeah, I'll be able to do all that.
So are you still going to try to go up to New York for that though, if you can?
Yeah, because that'd
And
be a
then try to
one.
do.
That's honestly, it's not that long of a drive.
Okay.
Or we can even drive into the one of the Jersey train stations and then take that to MSG.
Okay,
So
I just with you saying that you're going to do Philly SmackDown, that's 2 days later, so I didn't know if you were going to be able to pull all that in 1 week.
well, I mean, SmackDown in Philly,
With
I'm
your
already
busy
here.
schedule.
SmackDown in Philly, I'm already here. There's no traveling for that. That's just
Good point.
That's just a night on the town, buddy.
And shit, I'm probably going to have to get a damn hotel in New York if I go. So if you end up crashing, we can probably find a place to crash.
Get out of here. I'm trying to do a show. Come on, buddy. Get out of here.
You
Wanted
got
to
dog
say
problems?
hi. Aw. He wanted to say
Congratulations
hi.
on getting a new dog. Where's my cat that put his butthole on the fucking camera like usual?
He's not a new dog. He's just new to me. But anywho, if you guys want to see more of awesome Odin over here, or if you want to see any of Cass's breaking content, come check us out on bodyslam.net. And you can also check us out on Twitter, bodyslamnet. We're also on Instagram. We are all over the place. You can check us out on our individual Twitters, Cass Hole with 3 O's, Dom_Mowen. And we have a lot of other friends of the show that you can check out as well. The Jabronis.
Make sure you like this video, guys. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can find us now. We're easy to find on YouTube. I fixed the custom URL. Just search for Body Slam Net Pro Wrestling, and you'll find us.
And I'm actually running a special giveaway to ensure that all of our watchers actually subscribe to us so that we can jump up the ranks and actually pretend that we're legit. And it's going to be kind of like win Terry Bradshaw's money. It's going to be win Dom's shit. So I got a lot of stuff to offer on the wall, and I'm going to pick a surprise winner to get possibly an 8x10, possibly a pin. It might even be a replica mini title. Who knows? Here's how you win. You subscribe to our YouTube. You follow Body Slam Net on Twitter. You follow Cass Hole on Twitter. And you follow bodyslam_pod, the Push Podcast on Twitter. It's just bodyslam_pod. Follow all of them on Twitter. Like us on YouTube. And I will pick a winner in the next couple
How do they let
weeks.
you know that they've done that? Do you want them to DM you with screenshots showing that they've done all of your requirements?
Oh yeah, I guess because that's the thing. Everybody's gonna have different handles. I figured I would just go and check and find somebody that jives with it all. But
no, you got to be able to make sure they've done it all. So have them send you something. How are you gonna fucking pick the winner here, bro? We gotta make sure this shit's on the up and up, bro. This has got to be on the up and up. We're running a tight ship around here now, bro.
I know. Well.
About you claw everywhere.
All right,
we're running a tight ship as I'm like
taking it home. I'm taking it home because for the few people that have stuck it out and are watching,
do we need music for
the
no.
You're the people that get to understand how you win this shit. So, like us on YouTube, like us on Twitter, on those 4 accounts that I mentioned, and then all right, dude, I'll take you out in a second, and then
he knows you fucked up too.
I know, right? And then tweet us at bodyslam_pod saying I want to win Dom's stuff, and that's how I'll know that you're in the running. All right, I'll pick from the winners. I'll make sure that everything is verified, but tweet us out at bodyslam_pod. I want to win Dom's stuff. And
we'll give away more stuff too. I'll join in the ranks too. I got some stuff. I'll buy some toys. I'll give you guys some stuff too.
Your stuff's too cool, man.
We'll do giveaways, man. I buy extras. I got stuff to give away. Don't worry about me.
I got super brawlers. I got 8x10s or micro brawlers, whatever. I can't get anything right, dude. Man. Wouldn't be an episode if I don't screw something up. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Go like and subscribe and all that jazz. Say goodbye, Odin. Say goodbye,
guys. Thank you, everybody. All our new followers, all our new viewers. We love you guys. Thank you for everything. We'll hope to keep bringing you guys some good stuff. Just follow us all, man. We love you guys. Thanks.
Peace.